$1.76 today.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Time now for better food. There's nothing better than the smell of delicious bread baking while you're in your jammies. And if you're feeling adventurous in the kitchen, we've got a great recipe for you today.
Adam Young from Sift Bake Shop is showing us how to make sea salt brioche with rum butter.
Sure. Yeah, certainly. So what's great again?
Where are your pajamas?
I tried, man. I tried
They don't
to
make them in
find
your size.
a 3XL onesie with the feet, and I was unsuccessful last night. So, but to get back to the bread here, so this is kind of like a nice tradition piece to have on every holiday table. And what you can do, it kind of lends itself well to a nice variety of ingredients that you can create different flavors within it. One thing that I like to do is kind of create like a centerpiece dough, or centerpiece loaf, I should say. So here's kind of one rendition of this. We have some sea salt, we have chives. It's perfectly fine as is. What's unique about brioche is that it's what we call a rich yeast dough. Okay. So there's a lot of eggs, there's a lot of egg yolks, there's a ton of butter, there's a lot of things that make kind of a delicate crumb and a really, really rich yeasty flavor. So very, very quickly, I suppose, we'll go over the dough first.
I always thought brioche was like light. You're like, oh, it's so light and flaky.
Well, light texture, you know, but it has a lot of very, very rich ingredients and a lot of sugar and fat. So,
so good.
We're going to start off with a little bit of bloomed yeast. So yeast that's been saturated in a little bit of water for a couple of minutes. You want to make sure that a few of the, you see some gas bubbles on top. That lets you know that the yeast is alive and activating, right? So going to add that straight into the mixer. We're going to add milk. Okay. Obviously richer than water, so that adds a little bit of richness to the dough. As opposed to white bread, you know, we have whole eggs and egg yolks in here as well. Okay. Okay. A little bit of vanilla sugar. So what this is anytime we use vanilla beans at the bakery, we have the leftover pods. We plunge those into some sugar, and it gives a lot of flavor to that sugar. We either add it to our bread dough, our brioche, or we torch our creme brulees with it. So
this is how at home you're never going to get it to taste like this.
It'll taste just fine, just fine. But at this point, you could add your cinnamon spices, your holiday spices, you know, et cetera, et cetera. A little bit of lemon zest in this case, so just add a little bit of fruitiness, right? And I like to use, you know, simply the zest only. That provides a lot of aromatics, and it kind of permeates the dough as the dough bakes.
Yeah, you know where the rest of that lemon goes.
Light lemon flavor.
Right in my gin and tonic.
I was going to say a martini perhaps, but a little bit of all-purpose flour. Not too strong of a flour because, you know, this isn't a super, super glutinous dough.
Now, that's not bread flour, right?
It's not bread flour. It's all-purpose flour. It's a little bit weaker than bread flour. Okay. Touch of salt. Here's the thing. You want to keep your salt and your yeast separate at all times. Salt kills yeast, right? So it does season the bread, it does flavor it, but you want to keep it separated before the dough is completely emulsified. So
salt kills yeast.
Very, very
Did you know salt kills yeast? You did?
You knew that?
The teacher knew.
Some of the kids say they know, too. Yeah.
Teach chemistry and journalism? It wasn't my joke. It was Tracy's, but I'm borrowing it.
Okay. So we're going to let this go, and we're going to move on to kind of the next thing. What you want to do is on your stand-up mixer, let this go for just a couple of minutes until it forms a very dry dough ball, okay? And then to this, we're going to add even more richness with sugar and unsalted butter. So we're going to cream these together beforehand, and we're going to add little bits after maybe 5 minutes on low speed, a little bit at a time until it emulsifies with the rest of the dough. Okay. So when the dough is finished, it's going to look very wet, unusual to kind of a traditional bread dough. We're going to let that chill overnight in the fridge. The butter will firm back up, and then it'll be a very easy dough to work with, similar to what you see in front of you here. Okay. So one way to kind of present this dough that I think is really nice, especially for the holidays, is to do a 5-strand braid. So obviously we've rolled it out. We've portioned into 8-ounce portions, 5 8-ounce portions. And we've made almost kind of a baguette out of these. We're going to pinch the top together, and I'm going to start it, and if you want to finish it, you know. The sequence is 1/3, right? Okay. 2/3. 5/2, right? And then you just
I'm out.
You just repeat it, right? 1/3, 2/3,
2/3.
Yep. 5/2.
5/2.
This becomes 2 now.
Oh, that becomes 2. Okay.
Nice and tight, and then you just kind of keep repeating that sequence. 3. Right there. Yeah. Yep.
We got about a minute out. You might want to take over.
We'll finish it up here real quick. 2/3, 5/2, right? So super, you know, again.
It's like a hollow loaf.
Exactly. Very, very similar to a shape and hollow loaf. Got to pinch the ends.
We want to remind everyone, if this seems too hard for you, the Sift Bake Shop is right in Mystic, and Adam has all of this there for you.
Yeah, we certainly do. do, prepared for the holidays. And then also, if this is a little too complex, you can certainly portion into loaf pans as well.
So what do you just bake that, Adam, and it's good to go?
We're going to let that proof for a couple of hours until it doubles in size.
Okay.
And then we're going to bake that at 350 degrees for about 35 to 45 minutes.
Okay. And we're running out of time, but you just took fresh butter and you seasoned it with different things?
So to complement every brioche or any bread, I think it's kind of a cool creative thing to do what we call a compound butter. So what you see there, that's a rum raisin. There's some cranberries and some prunes and nuts. You can certainly add whatever you want. Black truffle would be nice. Tie it up, refrigerate it, and then it's nice and presentable. You can slice nice, clean corns out of it.
Sliced it. That makes it so easy. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous.
All right, you're going to find Adam and his delicious pastries at Sift Bake Shop in Mystic. The address is 5 Water Street.
And you can also check out his website. It's siftbakeshopmystic.com.